Hey everyone, you're tuned into InfoQuench with Jeff.
And Amy. Join us as we talk about anything.
And everything.
All the stuff that makes life interesting.
So let's get to it. Hey everybody, and welcome to InfoQuench. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm Amy.
And we are going to be talking about...
Ways to simplify your life.
Ways to simplify your life. I mean, do many people have simple lives? I don't know.
I think a lot of us strive for a simpler life.
Yeah, that's true. Life can be pretty complex, so it's nice to kind of tie up those ends.
And people are moving more towards minimalism in general, whether it's, minimalism in terms of possessions or... variety of things. So quite a few episodes back, we did 20 ways to simplify your home. So if you are interested in the idea of minimalism, be sure to check that one out. But this one, I've decided not to number my list.
We're just going to go.
That's part of me simplifying.
Yes, that's a very good point. If we have to go and do another part 2, then that's what we'll do.
Yeah, and it kind of got me thinking about, we recently were on vacation, and how on vacation you can become very relaxed, and I think it's because you are in a much simpler environment. Your mind isn't racing about, the things that you have to do around your house. When we talked about the idea, I think particularly with the pandemic, the idea of maybe buying a cottage.
Yes.
And having a place to go on weekends, and because we enjoy so much staying at cottages and cabins on lakes.
Airbnbs.
Yeah, we often will rent Airbnbs. But I was thinking to myself, when we were at the last Airbnb, if we owned it, then we'd be just looking around at a bunch of work that we had to do.
I know, you're right. But it would be so nice to be able to have that place. But you're right, we'd have to mow.
You'd sit on the deck and you'd be like,
we're
going to have to stay in the deck this year.
But when you're at Airbnb and it's at somebody else's property and they're the ones that are footing the bill, they get all this trimming done and everything, then it's a good feeling, isn't it? You don't have to worry about it.
And I don't know if everybody's mind races the same way as I do. Mine does sometimes when I'm thinking about chores and things. But when you're home, you're often thinking about what's the next load of laundry I have to do, or
I'm sure everybody takes their turn having
empty.
minds that race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody does that for sure. What I would say.
So part of vacation and the relaxation is sort of that whole simplicity of it. So. That sort of inspired me just to look at ways at how we can simplify our regular day-to-day life and maybe get a little bit more of that vacation feel.
It's funny because one of the things, there's been a few things that we've thought we'd like to go over, and I might just, am I going to spoil the so-called list? But anyways, we'll see.
We'll just go with it.
When we were away, though, we really enjoyed being outside and reading. That was one of the things that we wanted to try and implement a little bit better when we got home. Oh, it is on your list, isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, it's for some reason we still haven't done that, but we have the means to do it. The thing is that we have a little deck, but it's not very private at all. There's windows looking right down on it, and you can't.
Yeah, it's part of urban living, right?
Yeah, it's kind of, but you gotta have that. You gotta. Where's the balance, though, right? So we could do something really nice out on our deck, and use it for a place to read and to relax and stuff and whatever, or not. When
I know. Well, I think on vacation you already got. We stayed at a really nice place down in Nova Scotia, and the deck was perfectly set up, and it just sort of invited you to go out and read.
So
and I just feel like here, when it's your own deck and you've got
it's more of a chore, isn't it?
It becomes more of a chore. It's just easier to open up a book and sit on the couch or.
True, but you really loved, and so did I. Really loved reading outside. That was really nice.
I agree.
Just to kind of.
So I guess the first step in sort of looking at simplifying your life is to really think about what are the top things, what are the top 4 or 5 things that are really most important to you. And those are the things you want to carve out time for in your life. And that's what you want to focus on. And then the other things, they have to fall into place. It's sort of that whole idea of the jar that you put the rocks in, right? Mm-hmm. I think people probably have heard this story before, but you put the most important things in first, and then other things sort of fit around it. You know, so have an idea, whether it's a hobby that you have, whether it's spending time with your kids or your significant other, whether it's reading.
We've been trying to nail down a hobby for you.
I know.
And writing might be it, but you haven't taken the plunge yet. But I know you will.
I know, and
I
Jeff
bought
was
Amy a book.
Jeff bought me a book to
It's
sort of
prompts,
get me,
basically.
Yeah,
It's
writing prompts, which was great to kind of get me inspired. But yeah, I think being aware of what is important to you is and making those things sort of the top of mind, then those are sort of what will inspire you to simplify your life, because it's by simplifying all the other things that makes more time to spend on the things that are most important.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I agree with that.
yeah, so the first thing, identify those things that'll sort of inspire you, and then look at the other stuff.
Well, that's
and that's where you want to simplify and pare things down.
we should go through that though. Like we should discuss what it is that inspires us, and then we'll go through these steps together.
Oh, you want me to
while
say,
we do it? Yeah, while
tell
we're on,
everybody what my
while
4
we're
or
on the
5
pod-
most important things are in the world.
Yeah, like what like what do you want to do as a hobby? You are very interested in writing, especially travel writing. After I bought you that book, you love that Paul Thoreau book.
Yes.
The Art of Travel, right? Isn't that what it's called? Or The Zen of Travel? Or something like that?
I think reading in general, though, is something that I really love to do, and I just I do want to carve out more time for. Of course, spending time with, family and friends.
Absolutely. Those are the things, right?
And time in nature.
Yeah. What about some kind of artistic endeavor as far as like, painting or drawing or anything like that? Are you interested in doing anything like that
Well,
again?
I don't know if I want to.
I know you used to.
This is a lot of pressure.
Oh, no, okay, sorry. Maybe we shouldn't just do this as an intervention style. Let's just...
Is that what this is? Is this a
No,
hobby intervention?
not at all. But
Amy, you need a hobby.
Though, that
Podcasting is
we
kind of
have
a
been
hobby.
searching forever for a podcast or for a hobby for you to do, right? That you really could get engrossed in, and lose yourself in.
We're searching for. It sounds like a hopeless cause.
No,
and
it's not.
You know what? I do love podcasting, and for people who regularly listen, we typically have been putting out podcasts about once a week. And we got a little off track.
We went on vacation.
We went on vacation. We had my grandmother passed away recently, so we were going through that, and so sometimes life happens, and we had a bit of time in between our podcasts. But I definitely consider podcasting a hobby, and
It's definitely a hobby.
Jeff's given me a lot of pressure to come up with a different hobby. So
I just know that you would really enjoy it once you found the one that you wanted to do. That's
but there's lots of things I like to do.
I know.
Like,
reading is probably your hobby right now.
Well,
Reading.
yes, and I have. There's other things, and maybe perhaps we'll get into that with this whole idea of ways to simplify your life, and
Awesome.
not the Amy
Sounds
Hobby
good.
Intervention episode.
Yeah. It's all in positivity. It's all in the guise of positivity.
I know. Okay, so simplifying your life, one of the things that is key is to leave space around things in your day. When you are scheduling back-to-back appointments, you are inevitably going to feel rushed. You're going to fall behind. It's going to, may cause some more anxiety. It causes you to have less focus. If you're running late for the next appointment, you're not going to focus on the conversation or the time you're spending with the person you're with at that time. So leave some buffer room, and don't put everything back to back. Plan for contingencies. Give yourself extra time for driving if the weather might be bad. There's nothing worse than
being rushed.
Yeah. And that's one thing I really love about being able to walk to and from my job, because I remember driving and you could feel the stress in the morning of people on the road, and there's
White
just
knuckle.
this.
I don't want to go to work.
Well, and I think a lot of people just schedule their mornings such that there's not a minute to spare. They're looking at the clock and they're like, I have to leave the house by this minute or I'm going to be late. And so then all of a sudden, too many red lights happen, and they've got road rage, and that's when you see a lot of accidents during commutes.
Some people give themselves like a 2-minute window because they've been hitting the snooze alarm all morning.
Yeah,
some people do that.
That happens too, right?
Yeah.
So I think not scheduling everything back to back, giving yourself a few extra minutes will just decrease your overall stress and simplify things.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Well, sometimes you've got to just make things a little bit more efficient. Get some routines together, have a good morning routine.
Yeah.
So if you're finding yourself rushed in the morning, maybe, part of taking some time in the evening and prepping for the morning might help alleviate that. Whether it's, if you can pack lunches, if you can set out the outfit for the next day, if you got kids that you're getting ready, get them, as part of their bedtime routine to help prep for the morning, so that when things are a little chaotic and stuff starts to fall behind, then maybe there's you're just a little bit better prepared, and it can make everybody a little bit more relaxed, a little more smooth.
I think a lot of people feel like they don't have the time to prepare for the next day. They just have to get through that day. Do you know what I mean? Not to make that sound really, really dour, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people just do everything that they need to do when they need to do it and don't have any time whatsoever to plan for the next day. Or maybe they feel like they don't have the time to prepare for the next day, but you do. You just have to slot off that time, right? You just gotta.
Well, I mean, it's a really valid point. I think we all go through that, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's the end of the day and all of a sudden we're really tired and all we want to do is, just climb into bed and call it a day.
That's the time. That's the moment when you're like, oh, I'll just make the kids lunch for school, like, in the morning. I could do it now, but I'm just so tired. I don't want to.
And I think it is really about routines. Yeah. I mean, people don't have to, like, they're not making time to think about whether or not they're going to shower and brush their teeth in the morning. That inevitably has to happen. That's an important thing that has to happen for hygiene, and people just do it. Yeah. It's become part of their routine. So I think it's just a matter of, creating that habit and establishing it. And then the more you do it, the more automatic it becomes and the more efficient it becomes.
It's like those CEOs of Facebook and whatnot. They're always wearing like the same outfits, so they don't have to worry about thinking about what outfit they're going to wear the next day.
Yeah. The idea of decision fatigue and, just automating the things that you can so that you can spend time concentrating on the things that are more important.
Yeah, exactly.
All of those things are part of, simplifying your overall life. Another thing we can do is just carry less stuff around with us.
Right.
Minimalist. Whether you're I actually, with the pandemic, I stopped carrying around a purse because I used to always carry a full purse everywhere.
Right.
I would put my purse inside my backpack to go to work. And, with the pandemic, I think I just realized I wanted to be more, when we were in full outbreak mode and we had to sanitize everything that kind of left our house and came back in, I wanted to minimize what I carried, and I just carried the absolutes,
you're right.
Your credit card, your driver's license, and realized I didn't need to be a pack mule every time I left the house with carrying every belonging I had. Think about just carrying less stuff around on a daily basis, and that's just one other way that you can sort of simplify your life.
Absolutely. I try to do that myself, especially, listeners may remember that I started running not too long ago. So now when I go out to run, I don't bring all my keys. I just take the keys that I need off and put it in that little pocket in the back of the shorts and stuff. And
you're telling all the muggers where you keep your keys.
Oh, they don't want my keys.
They're going to have to chase you down. And
I don't have any money.
And then they're going to have to
muggers.
find out.
Hey, muggers, I don't have any money. I just have keys. Wait, I do bring my credit card too, so. Don't take my credit card, muggers.
And if you drive somewhere, they could then use that key to steal our car and drive to Mexico. Mm-hmm. But they'd never get past the border. Okay.
Wow, the way your mind works amazes me still.
I know. Let's get back to simplifying our lives, shall we?
Let's simplify our minds. I'm just joking.
Simplifying your goals. A lot of times we have like a half dozen goals on the go, and that can be a lot for anybody's head to handle.
Yes.
And sometimes when we set too many goals, we end up not achieving any of them. So maybe if you do have a lot of goals, maybe just reevaluate and simplify that a little bit and try to keep it simple so that you can reach that goal, achieve it, have that level of success, feel good about the achievement, and then move on to the next one.
I've never been that person who like gets out a piece of paper and writes out goals and then tries to achieve them. They're just always in my head. And I don't really have quote unquote distinct goals. It's just kind of like, hey, it'd be cool to run a marathon when I turn 50. And then I just keep training for it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Does that make any sense?
You and I are so different.
I know. I guess it doesn't make any sense.
No, it does make sense. I think there are a lot of people who do that.
I don't know.
I tend to think that everybody thinks the same way I do. I'm very type
Like, I
A,
can't
so
even
I
imagine.
love writing down lists and goals and things like
I
that.
can't even imagine what your list would look like if you wanted to run a marathon in a couple of years. Like, you would have, like, okay, week 1, I must eat this.
Well,
and
you'd
run.
start with race date, and then you'd work backwards.
See, I know you've been a runner, you know.
But I mean,
You've written for Runner Magazine. You got the T-shirt.
Runner's World, babe.
Runner's World, whatever. Gotcha.
Yeah, I got the T-shirt.
It's important.
Got the T-shirt to prove it. No, I mean,
we will post a picture of that T-shirt as our.
I think it actually got KonMari'd.
Oh, get out of town!
Yes.
You had it for 20 years.
I know, I did.
And you KonMari'd it.
Oh, you know what? I might have put it in the keepsake box.
Who's gonna wear that?
I might have cut out the Runner's World logo and put it in a keepsake box.
Oh, if you did,
how sad is that?
Then that has to be our next
our picture for this episode. I'll have to see if that's. Let's see how sad I am. See if I did that.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
What the heck were we talking about? Yes. So not everybody writes their goals down, but a lot of times you have running goals in your head, and just that mental clutter, that mental drain of these running goals and what you're supposed to be doing. You might have, your fitness goal. You might have a goal around, I don't know. It could be anything.
It could be anything, like eating less or, doing whatever.
Or eating healthier. Or,
not less, healthier, you're right. Yeah, just don't eat. Just don't do that. Don't. You got to eat.
That's not what we want to promote.
We're not promoting don't eat. No hunger strikes.
Oh, this episode is
off the rails.
It's off the rails.
We're not going to have to re-record it, are we?
No,
okay,
I wouldn't put you through that.
Thank you. Phew.
We were so delayed in getting another episode out. So
what's the next thing on the list?
Single task. Don't multitask. There was a time.
Multi-single.
Was that a jingle? A multi-single jingle?
A multi-single jingle. What does that even mean? Okay, don't.
What is multitasking?
No, in this respect. So don't take on too many things. Just do one at a time, basically.
Well, yes.
Well, that's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it?
No, not necessarily. There has been a culture of ultimate productivity, and I think people became very adept at multitasking. I remember years ago working in call centers, like for IBM, and when I was in university, I would work summers in call centers, and call centers are like the ultimate in multitasking. You would get different whisper greetings that would come through your phone, and you would have to answer, and you would be typing. I worked for credit departments where you'd be literally talking to a customer, typing payment arrangements at the same time.
Your brain is incredible, but you're not so much of a multitasker. Neither am I?
Well,
really?
I think the idea is that I think I do multitask well, but I don't know that that's ultimately the goal of where we should, I think society's now moving more towards appreciating the idea of single tasking.
Yeah,
and
just focus. People.
Well, concentrate. Yeah, focus and do one
just
thing well.
Do a good job.
And, why do we need to be doing all of these things at the same time? Why can't we focus on one thing and then move to the next?
That's right. Why don't we have to do anything at all?
It's certainly more, in terms of simple... Let's just go sit on a beach somewhere.
Just joking.
Drink margaritas.
Let's go to the Airbnb and read our books outside. See, it went right back to it. Did you notice that?
I know.
The old cyclical nature.
No goals.
We have not lost a thing.
We don't want any goals. We just want to sit.
Our podcast.
Sit and do nothing.
No goals. We really, you know what though? What we really, really want to do though, you and I and Hux, we just want to go on vacation. We're so used to going on vacation in the summer. I mean, like a vacation, in the warm.
Oh, I think that.
But anyway, that's
we're having a little
podcast.
Yeah, a little pandemic sadness of.
Yeah,
we're just
morning
travel. We're mourning our ability to travel.
It's not like we're loaded. We just save for it, Anyway.
All right. We won't get into banking on this episode.
Why not? I am so curious.
Actually,
about
you know what? I do have something around the,
You were taught baking at an early age.
I was.
And it made an effect on you, though.
Yes.
It impressed upon your brain.
I've always been conscientious of saving.
Money.
Absolutely. I've always been somebody who doesn't want to be, left high and dry. And so, I'm definitely a saver. It just gives me more mental... having a mental blank here.
I've always been a
comfort.
conserver.
It gives me comfort.
Yeah. I conserve my money, you know, like
So, travel.
travel.
I really, maybe, see, I'm starting to appreciate the idea of a numbered list.
Well, yeah.
When
after
we're on
jumping
19
around.
minutes
You know what,
into an
though?
episode and...
Our listeners, they could follow us. No problem. We're just ping-ponging around with
Okay.
subjects and
We talked about
ideas.
travel, and you said, well, you know, we're not loaded, we save for it. Well, one of the ideas of simplifying your life, and one of the ways that we help with our travel, is to automate our payments.
Yes.
I don't know. I think most people are probably doing this in today's day and age, but we shouldn't be going individually in to pay all of your bills. That
Absolutely
is just
not.
not a good
Carbon
use of
footprint.
anybody's time. So, no, I don't mean like actually, well, driving, but I mean...
No, it's just part of it, right?
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
going
some-
in and paying
maybe-
your bills.
Perhaps people do actually physically go to places, but even taking the time to pay all of your bills individually, you can automate so much of that. And for us,
Yeah.
I you know, quite a few years back, we researched a travel MasterCard option that allowed us to
Right.
basically put, you know, it's amazing how many bills you can pay by MasterCard. And what that allows us to do is, because it's a travel MasterCard, we are able to accumulate all of those
points.
points towards travel. And then if you pay off your, I mean, this is a key point, I guess, with the credit card, you've got to pay it off.
Yeah.
You know, every month, so
And
that
we
you're,
do.
and that way you're not paying any interest. So you get the convenience of putting everything on that one credit card, and then, you know, and you're paying it off, so you're not, you know, penalized with any kind of interest. But also because you're putting everything on it, you can accumulate a lot of points. I mean, we flew, all three of us, to Nicaragua and back, from Canada to Nicaragua on points alone.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's just money that we would have been spending.
And use them for a hotel
Anyways.
down, you know, for our
Yeah.
first night in a hotel
That's
before we
right,
made
yeah.
it to an Airbnb. And yeah.
Rather than travel that first day we arrived, we stayed at a
So
hotel.
don't underestimate the value of doing something like that. But just the idea of automating your finances, automating your banking in any way you can, that will definitely simplify your life, because you don't have to, you know, be thinking about paying attention to certain dates and when you need to go in and do something. And, you know, you can
Yeah.
often tell people, you know, when you specify when your credit card would be charged, or you know, whatever works. But the great idea of the credit card is it's, you know, it's over the course of the month, and then you pay
should
it
get
off at the end of
T-shirts
the
that
month.
say "We're not loaded, we save for it."
We're not loaded. We just
We're not loaded.
we're
we
just
just
tipsy.
save for it.
We're just tipsy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Next.
Yes.
What's next?
All right. Well, yeah, I talked about single tasking. You know,
I'm glad we did banking. You know, I'm
meal
really glad.
planning. You're glad we did banking? Yeah. We kind of just grazed the surface. This is just
That's
a
it.
grazing episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all you'll ever have to know about banking. Next. What's next?
We're just walking around a pasture, taking a bite of this and that. Simplifying life. Meal planning. Meal planning is huge, and it's something that we are guilty of not doing very well.
We did do it.
I know, we got to get back into the
We
habit of
gotta
doing
get.
it.
Yeah. We gotta get that Instant Pot being used.
Oh, the Instant Pot.
Yeah. That's the.
We
bane
bought
of
an
your
Instant Pot, and
existence.
it's in the cupboard, and it's not been used.
You bought it.
It was a joint decision.
Okay.
Do not put that on me.
It was your idea.
It's like
It was your
it's like
idea
an
to buy it.
albatross
It was your idea.
around my neck.
Anyway.
That Instant Pot.
You
It
know
takes
what,
up an
though?
entire cupboard, and we don't use it. It's been in there for like 2 or 3 years.
That is not the.
Jeff won't
epitome
let me
of
get rid of it
KonMari.
either.
No, I won't.
Because
Just
he
like the
keeps saying
chair.
he's going to cook chicken in it, but you don't cook chicken in it. You just use the oven. You never use the
no.
Instant Pot for chicken.
I'm gonna make some.
You don't use it for anything. I think it's because we're a little afraid of it, if we're going to be perfectly honest.
We don't know how to use the damn thing. Anyway, go ahead. What's next?
Okay, so make a meal plan.
Yeah, let's make a meal plan.
Meal plans
So-
are a great way to just, you know, to make sure that you're not only getting, you know, a good balanced meal, but also you can make sure you minimize food waste. You are more efficient when you go to the grocery store, and you don't have to think about what
Yeah.
you're going to eat every day, which again, we talked about decision fatigue. So meal planning, definitely a good
Yeah.
thing to do.
Before you decide to do the meal plan, you're more than likely going to eat takeout. So save all those containers so that you can use them for when you make your meal plans. So you may not be there yet. So if you're still eating takeout, you still have a
Yeah,
chance.
save those computers.
Save
containers.
Save those containers, and with the plastic lids and stuff, and then reuse them like we do. Whoa, we just gave another secret.
I know, honey,
Okay.
that was a great one.
Okay, that was a good one. There's one to grow on from Jeff.
Simplify. This is
More where that came from.
ways to simplify your life. I keep repeating it because I'm trying to keep myself on track. Unsubscribe from emails that you don't want. Like, if
I
you
do
keep
that.
seeing the same email pop into your inbox and you are never reading it, just unsubscribe. Just take the plunge, spend the 5 seconds, and be
what
done
about
with
the
it.
ones
You
that
can
are
always
like-
resubscribe should you decide you want to get it again later
But what
on.
about the emails that come in that are junk and you can't even you can't get rid of them? Like, I can't get rid of those stupid Shoppers Drug Mart ones that could come in.
I know when they
Talking
say
about-
like Shoopers, they always
yeah,
have
they
a
say
typo.
Shoppers Drug Mart. I'm like, who's Shoppers Drug?
They always
What
says-
what's going on here? And then they just keep coming. I delete them. I put it into the junk folder.
It's because they've
gone.
sold
Keeps
your
coming,
email
keep
address on the
coming.
dark web to somebody.
Yeah, but isn't that illegal? Shouldn't I be able to like?
People
hit
on
them
the
with a
dark web
lawsuit?
don't care about legalities.
Okay, I guess not.
They're just selling
They just wear
email
all
addresses
black.
left and right. You mark it as junk. I actually have recently done research on this because I too have been bombarded by junk email
Shoopers?
in my Hotmail accounts.
Is it Shoopers though?
Shoopers Strugmart
Okay,
with
yeah.
the same guy and girl
We
in their
gotta-
pixelated image.
We got to get rid of them, like, because that's driving me crazy. Every
And if
day
you
one
click on
comes in.
subscribe on them, it actually tells them that it's a valid email address. So they tell you when it's like that really, blatantly junk email, not
Yeah.
to hit the unsubscribe button, because if they're sending you junk email, they don't have the morals to unsubscribe you at your request. They
Well,
just
they
say,
could
"Oh,
be-
look, Jeff is a real email address,"
And they
then
could
just
be
keep sending
so
them.
savvy that as soon as you hit unsubscribe, boom, they've got all your like banking information.
I know they don't even know that I'm not a man because I just get the amount of
Oh.
mail enhancement emails I get.
Oh, really? I don't
Oh,
get any
yeah.
of those. Must not need them. Anyway, what's next?
All right. List. Simplify your life by just having lists. And there's no reason to have to make a list over and over again. If
I
you
am
have,
not a list guy, though.
well,
Did you see
you
this
use a-
list? I have a list here. Honestly,
What is the
it's
first
like
thing on the list? Make a list.
Record, second spin, Michaels, paint, canvas. That's it. And I left it home. I didn't even bring it with me. So I am not a list guy.
Put the list in your phone. Type it in the notes section of your phone.
I do that.
And then you can just, reuse your list. We reuse our lists for vacation, so you're not sitting there racking your brain about what did I bring last time, and update it after vacation. So if you didn't use things, delete them off the list. So just have these reusable lists. We
Yeah.
have,
I do use my phone, actually. I would put all the movies I've watched on Criterion Collection.
see. So you do lists
So-
when it's something that you're interested in.
But it's just the movies. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, it's not a list. List. Anyway, go ahead. What's next?
Pay attention to processes in your life that aren't working, that are tedious, that take up a lot of time throughout the day, and try to think of ways to simplify them.
What kind of processes?
Well, like for instance, we were running around searching for masks.
Oh.
Masks are now very much a thing, right? Community masks. Every time we leave the house, we have to have our masks with us. And, we'd have some that were dirty and some that were clean and trying to find them. So we basically have a basket. We put all the clean masks in it and and they're in one spot and our family knows where to go to grab a mask and they're near near our front entrance. So they're always there.
Yeah.
So when you have something in your house, whether it's how you sort your recycling or how your laundry is sorted, or
True.
look at it and try to think of a way to simplify it, because that'll save you time every day.
Case in point, like when we decided to KonMari the kitchen and we decided to actually move everything so that it's much more conducive to like loading and unloading the dishwasher,
Right.
so that everything's close,
Yes.
And really, I have noticed that is, I can unload the dishwasher and put almost everything away without even really moving. Like just
Yeah, we also lengthen Jeff's arms.
yeah, and I'm like, and I've got 8 of them. I'm like an octopus.
We've even simplified it that you're the official unloader and I'm the official loader of
We
the
did.
dishwasher. That's something that
But we still
like
need to come up with something except for you just saying, Jeff, the dishwasher is full. You need to unload it. You never say it that way, actually. I'm making you sound horrible. You're not. But no, we just need like something like, how they do that with a mailbox? They put the flag up when it's full.
Yes.
And then they put it down when it's empty.
You need me to put a flag up to tell you to do the chores?
Yeah, we'll get we'll get a giant Canadian flag or something, and then we'll put it up.
Oh my, oh my. I don't know. I feel like this, hopefully somebody got one tip out of this entire episode that'll help them simplify their life. If
You can
nothing
tell
else,
we were excited to get back to it because
we
haven't made a podcast in a while. So, yeah, you get some extra comedy this one, guys.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Comedy,
That'll
commentary,
be an extra $25.99.
insight into our chaotic, unsimplified life at times. But anyways, it's been a fun one, and we promise the next one, it might even have a numbered list, but it'll definitely be more structured.
We can promise the next one won't have a numbered list because I'm making the list and I'm going to leave it at home. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thanks for listening.
And remember, you can catch up on past episodes at infoquench.com.
Or just about anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And help spread the word about InfoQuench.
Till next time.